What's going on, my friends? Rico Vara here, back with another video. Today we're going to be building our very own Minecraft server on Mac for free. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. First and foremost, I do have a couple of prerequisites I would like you all to download. So I'm going to pull that up here, and I am going to put the links to these in the description. But the first one's going to be your Java development kit. You're going to need to install this. I'm on a Mac, like I said, but you can select your operating system here. And if you have an Intel-based Mac, you're going to want the x64 installer. If you're on a Silicon like myself, you'll want the ARM64 installer. Next, you're going to want to head over to paper.jar. I'll put this in the description as well, but you're going to want to download the latest build. This is going to be your server software. There are other options to use, such as Bucket or Spigot, but this is going to be the most mainstream right now, and it's highly supported, so I really recommend this for y'all. So once we have those downloaded, you're going to want to create a new folder on your desktop or wherever you'd like, such as your documents folder, somewhere where you can easily access it though. I have mine right here on my desktop. That's fantastic. So let's go ahead and open it up here. I'm going to put that paper file that I just downloaded into this folder here, into my server folder. It doesn't have to be named server, but for simplicity, I named mine server. So a lot of people like to change this to just paper.jar. That's totally up to you for simplicity, but I like to leave mine with the version number right here, just for organization purposes, so I know what I'm doing. Now, once you've installed the JDK kit, you're going to want to use that to get this up and running. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you go to the search and hit text, and text edit's going to be right here. So you're going to want to do that. Open up text edit, get a new one open right here. You want to hit format, make plain text, and we have it right here, our text file. So what this is going to be is this is actually going to be a script that tells this Java file what to do and how to start it. What you're going to put in here is going to be this, and I'm going to put this in the description for y'all too. It's not going to be the same for everyone, and I'll tell you why. Right here, this is going to be the path to where your server file is. So mine's on my desktop. So I have it on desktop and server. It's just going to help the system find where your jar file is right here. Now, right here, this is going to be the line that launches your actual server. As you can see, my jar file is named paper-1.20.6-138.jar. That's why some people like to name it paper.jar, because it's a little simpler, but this needs to be matching the jar file name. So whatever your jar file name is, this has got to match it. Now, another important thing is going to be this right here. This is going to be your memory. Memory is a finite computer resource, and this is how much you're going to allocate to your server. So how much memory you're going to allocate to your server is going to depend on several different factors. The first factor in deciding is actually going to be based on how much memory your computer actually has. So what I'm going to have y'all do is you're going to open this other tool called Terminal. This is going to be our BFF for making a server. It's going to give us a lot of information. It's also going to be a useful tool. I actually have pre-made commands that I'm going to give to y'all, and I'm going to put it in the description for you. But for this command is going to tell us how much memory our computer has. So mine has 32 gigabytes, but I am not just running my server on my computer. I have other things open. I have web browsers open. I have a Minecraft client open. I have OBS recording. So I'm not going to be able to put the full 32 in there. Even if this computer was dedicated, I still wouldn't put the full 32. I'd probably put like 28 to 30 if I was just doing this Minecraft server on this computer. So of note, you are going to be probably running your Minecraft client on this computer. To actually run Minecraft, you're going to need a spare minimum 2 gigabytes of RAM. I honestly recommend 4 gigabytes. If you want smooth or like good quality gameplay, you're going to want 4 to 8 gigabytes just for running the game. So just have that in mind, depending on if this computer is dedicated just for the server, or if you're doing other things on it, you're going to want to take that into consideration. But how much RAM your server needs also depends on what you plan to do with it. Are you just having like a casual vanilla server with a couple plugins? Then you would be fine with, I'd say, between 1 and 4, and that's going to support up to 10 players and a couple plugins. So 1 to 4 gigabytes, and you're going to want to put the amount you have right here. I'm going to put 2. So I have 2 right there, as you can see. If you're wanting to have a kind of a medium server, like 10 to 20 players, Then you're going to want to scale up a little bit, go to 4 to 8 gigabytes of RAM. And then a large scale service with lots of plugins and customizations, it's going to be 4 to 8 and above. So just have that in mind. Depends on how much memory your computer has, what you want to do with your server, how much you can afford to allocate. So just for purposes of this video, I'm going to leave it at 2 gigabytes, but you are welcome to change it to wherever you see fit. Now that we have this whole script ready to go, I'm gonna go ahead and save it to my desktop and server file here. So we have it right here. I'm gonna name it start.command. So now that I've named it start.command, I have it right here next to my paper.jar. Before I actually run this, I need to tell my computer, hey, this script is chill. I made this, like I know what it is, we can run it. So we need to give it authorization from the computer to actually run it. So you're gonna want to remember back in the script, that path that we made right here. Remember we put that into the script. This is telling the computer where the files are. So it's in my server file on my desktop in my computer. So you're gonna want to remember that path. So you're gonna want to go into terminal and type in cd desktop. And then you're gonna want to type in cd server. So that's going to put us here in the server file. We can verify that by typing ls, and it's going to show my paper.jar and my start.command. Now let's go ahead and give the start.command the proper permissions to launch. So we're going to type in chmod +x start.command. So now the start.command has the proper authorization to actually run. So we can go ahead and exit out of this and start the server. First time booting up the server, it's going to load everything, going to create all these files here, and it's going to fail to actually start. It's going to give you this little warning here that says failed to load EULA.txt. So we're going to exit out again and go to EULA.txt. What this is basically a end user license agreement. Assuming that you have read and accepted it, you're going to want to change that from false to true and save it. So now we've accepted the EULA, we've put it as from false to true, then you're gonna restart again. Now when the server boots up again, it's gonna know that the EULA is accepted and it's gonna finish creating our server. We have our world file here, our nether file, our end file. It's gonna continue to boot up here, and we got that little message there that says done. So this is actually going to be our server console. Whenever the server is running, this is going to be open and running. We can type commands from here and control and monitor the server from here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is test out the server to make sure I can join it. I'm going to hop into Minecraft, multiplayer, direct connection, and local host. For now, you're just going to put local host so we can join it real quick. So I joined right here. I'm in a world in survival. I can type in the chat and everything I do is logged in the console. So join the game, my IP, and me putting in the chat. So let's go ahead and make ourselves an admin on the server. So you're gonna type OP in your username. Now I have admin permissions and I can do anything I want basically on this server. So I can change my game mode, I can do whatever, fly around, but we're gonna go ahead and disconnect for now, because we don't need this anymore. We know the server is working, so we can go ahead and type stop. You're gonna want to let it stop before you exit out, make sure everything's good and it saves the world and all that. And you can exit out of here. So these are all of your server files here. First one we're gonna want to look at is the server.properties. So you're gonna open that up in text edit. It's gonna have all of these features in there that you can customize and change. I'm gonna highlight a few right now. Difficulty, so the difficulty is going to be set to easy by default, but you can always change that. Command block, if you want to enable the ability to use command blocks. I don't recommend that for security purposes, but that's totally up to you. The default game mode, so survival mode, if you want the default one to be survival. Hardcore mode, default is set to false. This is going to be the name of your world file. That's just left at world for now. Max players, so this is going to be the maximum player limit that can join your server at a time. Again, this is also going to depend on your RAM, so I would be very cautious when setting this. Message of the day, so that's going to be the little text that opens up when people add your server to their server lists. You want to leave online mode to true. If you set it to false, then people will be able to join with any username, including your own, and be an admin, so we definitely don't want that. So right here, you're going to have your server port. The default port for Minecraft is 25565. You're going to want to actually leave it at 25565. The only reason you'd want to change it is if you have more than one server running on the same network, but for now we don't, so we're going to leave it alone. Last but not least, we have whitelist right here. This is going to be if you want your server to be invite only or only certain people can join. Right now it's false, so anyone can join with the IP address. If you turn it to true, you want to go over here to whitelist. You're going to want to open that up and you'll be able to put names of people who are allowed to join. Same thing with banned players. You're going to have a list of banned people here. If people are banned, though, it'll be here logged. Here you're going to have a list of your admins. So ops is going to be admin. See, I'm here right now. And this is going to be your world file, your nether file, and your end file. If you want to use a different world or a custom world, you're going to drag that world file into here, and then you're just going to delete this and rename your new file to world, and the server will launch with your world in there. This is going to be your plugins folder here. We're going to go into that in the next episode on how to set up and customize plugins, but that's going to allow you to mod your server and make it yours, fully customize it, add permissions, economy systems, etc. But now that we have our server up and running, we want to understand that people are not going to join your server by typing in localhost, because that's not going to work, because localhost is only going to work when you're on the same network as your server. So if I got on another computer and I wrote localhost and I'm on the same Wi-Fi, then yes, I will join this server. But people who are not on the same network as you are not going to be able to join through localhost. They're going to want to join through your IP. To get that working, we need to do something called port forwarding. So to port forward, you're going to need to know a couple of things. We're going to open our friend terminal back up again. And I have another code I can give to y'all, just like I did for the memory. So you're going to want to paste this in there and hit enter. And this is going to tell you two things. This is going to tell you first what your computer's IP address is within your network, and that's going to be different for everyone. And this is going to be your default gateway. So this is going to be how you access your network interface through your router. So 90% of the people watching, yours is going to be 192.168.1.1. It could be different for that 10%, but for the most part, it's going to be this. So what you're going to want to do is you want to go to your web browser and type this into your web browser. If you haven't set up an admin portal there, you're going to want to do that. It's the same place where you customize your Wi-Fi's name and password. So I already have that pulled up here. I'm running on a Netgear, so I have the Netgear UI here. But I found my way over here to port forwarding / port triggering. There's going to be some pre-made little applications there. We're not going to use those. We're actually going to make our own custom one. So you want to click add custom service. It's going to load here. Once it loads, it's going to put this up here for you. You're going to want to put this as Minecraft server. So you want to put Minecraft server there. You're going to leave this TCP UDP. External port range, you're going to want to have this as our server's port that we had before, so 25565. And then right here, your internal IP address is going to be this one right here, so 192.168.1.21 for me, but that's going to be different for you. And you're going to want to hit apply. Once that's done, it's going to be right here. So we'll know it's active and ready to go, and you will be able to join your Minecraft server once it's running through your external IP address. So if you're not sure what your public IP address is, I'm actually going to give you a command in the description to put it there. I'm not going to put my own public IP, but I'll put it so y'all can find your own. It'll be in the description as well, and you're going to want to put all these codes into terminal. It's a great tool to help us with our server. But once that's all set up, you're going to want to run your server again. Now that you have port forwarding open, once it's back up, you're going to want to try to join from your IP. Assuming that works, you should be all set and ready to go and have your friends join. If you're having problems, you're welcome to leave a comment and I'm happy to help. You might have missed a step or done something wrong. That's totally okay. It happens all the time. But like I said, just leave a comment. Happy to help. Next episode, we are going to be going over how to set up plugins and further customize your server so we can add economy systems, mini games, etc. But we'll go ahead and stop our server for now. We have that closed now, the server's offline, and that's basically going to be the gist of it. Your server is all set up now. You just click that to start it and stop to stop it. Like I said, if you have any questions, drop a comment. Make sure to like if this helped you out and subscribe to see the next tutorials coming up to further customize your server. But hope this was able to help. Thank you all so much for watching. Y'all have a great day.